So
I mean,
we're
bro,
we're
I'm with you, and we are here. So, like,
yeah
another issue that I have is us not getting Benavidez and Canelo. Like, that's
yeah
huge. That's
yeah
huge.
yeah, and I feel for Benavidez because he genuinely seems like a guy that just wants to make the best fight.
He just want to fight. He
Um,
just want to fight.
so and having a goal, I almost think like, and I don't think it's not gonna lead. I don't think it's gonna lead to him being less hungry. But you could tell his whole entire build up to this moment. It's kind of like, in a sense, like Terrence Crawford and Earl, where it's like the build up is like, all right, collision course. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna keep winning. He's gonna keep winning. We're gonna get it at some point, right? Granted, we got that fight 3 or 4 years after we are supposed to get it, but in this sense, it's like almost like not even like the fun aspect of like, yeah, well, maybe if he beats him, we might get that fight. It's like, yeah, we're shutting it down,
I don't
and
want it no more.
it's hell. And I mean, they said that he just put out he put out an offer, a last ditch offer that's like, hey, I think it was he'll take 5 mil to fight him, is what he said. Um,
Bro.
Canelo doesn't even care if you're taking the pay cut. Canelo is about, I mean, if we're being honest, he ducked Triple G till he was out of his prime. Um, and this is kind of the same sentiment. It's like because he can't do the same thing with Benavidez, he just is avoiding him. So Canelo's going to continue collecting that payday. Benavidez is hopefully going to find another dancing partner that'll make his career not in vain, where you can still look back on the people he's fought
So
and be okay.
before we continue with that whole segment, I wanted to say one thing.
Okay.
So I believe people are gonna hate me for this. They're gonna hate me, but Canelo's taking the page out of Floyd's book. If you ask me,
I get that. I
I
get that.
mean, is it genius? Yeah, but is it kind of
Yeah.
like it's a slap in the face too? Because you can't say, "Oh, I'll fight anybody," but in reality, you
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah, I get that. And I mean, to be honest, there was a 4 or 5 year stretch where he was, it's it with Floyd, but there was a 4 or 5 year stretch. Like he fought Caleb Plant, which I mean, I didn't think that was ever gonna, like, not saying Caleb Plant's the end all be all, but I didn't think he was gonna step in the ring with Caleb Plant. Um, I didn't think the Bivol fight was gonna happen. I thought he was content with just running that division and
Fair.
not picking up. So there's step, but he was in a win-win. It's like when you step up, if you lose, people are like you obviously you outkicked your coverage. You went up too high. But when you win, it's like, okay, it only adds to your legacy. Same reason why he said he didn't want to fight Terrence Crawford, because he understood Terrence Crawford can't lose in that situation. It's like, oh yeah, Terrence Crawford went up to 168 to fight Canelo after fighting 147.
And Canelo said
Um,
it.
yeah, so he knew what Terrence Crawford essentially had in mind as well, because he had just did it. So I I think that in that there's instances where he kind of like is good at fooling the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Mexicans definitely ride for their fighters,
Heavily,
rightfully so.
heavily, absolutely.
And he is the guy.
Right.
So um, until that is not the case, he's going to be able to write his story and not anyone else.
So my question for you, with him leaving PBC, where do we go from here with Canelo? We'll go there first.
I think he just needs to be a free agent and take these one-offs. Might sign a deal here, might sign a deal there.
Like
Different,
like how Terrence is doing right now.
yeah, like how Terrence is doing. I think that at this point in his career, if he's not going to actually fight someone, that's like Munguia is. We had talked about this before the show, but yeah, it's getting closer. It hasn't been confirmed that he's going to be fighting Munguia on that in that Cinco de Mayo slot.
And you said that's May
And
4th, right?
yeah, May
Okay.
4th. So like that Cinco de Mayo weekend. He usually
Okay.
fights Cinco de Mayo weekend,
Okay.
and so I mean Munguia is a great fighter. Um, or in terms of like hierarchy level, he's on the higher end for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't the fight that everyone wants. It's better than the other fight that was announced, which was Berlanga at first. It's funny because they kind of announced that Berlanga was like the mandatory. He thought he was the mandatory for Canelo, and he's working towards being the mandatory for David Morrell instead.
Oh my
So
gosh, that's gonna be even worse.
exactly. So I don't think he wants. I think he knows he doesn't want that fight. The zone was very good at pulling the wool over his eyes about what his future is going to be, and I'm not surprised either because he seems kind of jaded by the whole fight experience anyway. He gets swept up in things pretty fast.
Right. I'll tell you one thing. Mongia, I mean, he destroyed John Ryder. Canelo, however, I think it took Canelo a little bit to get him out of there. So
Yeah,
that might
yeah,
be a closer fight than what people think. It's
yeah.
not
And
50-50.
I hope it is. I'm not gonna call it 50-50. I hope it's a closer fight than others are thinking it's going to be. Munguia is on a good track right now where
Mm-hmm.
he's had some pretty. He had a strong performance. The one before wasn't as strong, but
Mm-hmm.
he had a strong performance. I was actually in Phoenix. I didn't get to go to that fight, which I'm sorry about. That was on me though. I was on the couch, so I didn't get to go. But yeah, yeah. I think that it's a good fight, not a great fight, given that if this David Benavidez stuff had already been settled. I'm cool with them fighting a Munguia. I'm okay with that. Like, say he beat David Benavidez, yeah, fight Munguia. Or say he lost, fight Munguia. Yeah, this is a good
Everybody
fight.
to fight.
But and it's not like he's protect. I don't get the Canelo, um, Floyd blueprint, like because or him doing that because he's not protecting the zero.
True, but he
So
can't afford to take any more losses.
I agree. Well, yeah, after Bevo, yeah, but like after Bevo, you're like he's a legend. He's already a legend. It's like you can only hurt your resume at this point. I understand that. Like his resume is solidified,
Mm-hmm.
but then then you start getting to like what's your bet. Who was his best win? And people will say Triple G, but I will say the Triple G was over the hill. But uh, it's a it does get to that point though. But I think that it's someone like Canelo where you can do no wrong in your people's eyes. Essentially, you shouldn't be too worried about protecting a record
That's a good
at
point.
this. So that's why I don't get his like whole entire um his my bad, my cat's doing some wild shit. Anyway, uh, I don't get his whole entire like game plan going forward. Like if you're gonna stay in the sport, be in the sport. Don't
Tiptoe.
you know tiptoe, move around, like move out the way of certain people. If
It's
you're gonna be in
different.
it, yeah,
It's different, bro. Like I'm with you. Like don't. If you in, you in. Cool. Like you're getting older,
yeah.
so like at this point, sign maybe a 3-fight deal and then call it quits. Call it a day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I I don't know, bro. Um,
And it's like he can't ride off into the sunset. He's done enough. He's done
he
enough to be considered a legend.
but what has he got? 67 dubs or
He
something like
he
that.
he's done enough. That's why I'm like, if you're gonna be in it, be in it.
Yeah,
Don't don't just be halfway in for the money. If you are saying that you're doing it for legacy, then for the
facts,
money, it doesn't make sense.
facts. Um,
So yeah,
I would say on this bullet point or topic, two things that we'll kind of finish up with, as far as the Benavidez and Canelo thing. So Benavidez is going to light heavyweight, right?
yes,
So I believe he's going to get a belt quickly. I think his next fight will be for a belt. I don't know who's going to fight, but
yeah.
I think he'll fight Better Biev and Bivol. It's been
The
it's
winner
been
of
rumored.
the winner of that fight.
Yeah, it's been rumored. But
Yeah,
I think it's legitimate because I don't think he's trying to waste time at
but do you
all.
think he should fight at that weight class before? I think he should take a fight at light heavy before he fights Bivol, the winner of Bivol Benavidez, personally.
I, so I think he is. So I think he's gonna fight for a belt and then like get one of those belts, that they
Yeah,
have. But
yeah,
I think he's a special talent. I don't know if he has to do all that. I don't know.
yeah. He definitely, I'm sure in his mind, doesn't think so. It if I was in the position where I want to take the winner of the two people that are, I mean, it should be a war. We'll see. Hopefully, that's a war.
Yeah.
And in June, um, you, you realistically don't think they're gonna fight again to the end of the year. Want
True.
the winner of that? It's March, so unless you're taking a fight at 168, then and that might make sense. But it, I feel like if you're gonna take a fight, so you're not out of the ring for that long, you might as well go up and take a fight there before let the dust settle. I mean, there's always the unknown, right? Say he
Mm-hmm.
gets hurt, say he loses, and it's not a draw anymore. But I mean, if he's the talent we all think he is, then he should just clean someone up to solidify that next fight should be the fight, and then we get the fight between the two.
I th-
So
I think I think that's gonna happen. I think he's gonna. I don't know who he's gonna fight, but he's gonna fight somebody, and then it's gonna be one of those two. My only worry is that if it's Bivol, his footwork is great. It's elite.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
it,
that's gonna be tough.
it's gonna be. It is definitely gonna be tough. But that's what we do it for, right? Like
Right.
we want that. We want it to be a fight where we don't know the outcome. Not keep harping on the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight, but that was the last great fight that was truly a wild card. No one knew how it was going to be until fight day.
Still
Every
good
fight after
fights.
and seen is we kind of know what we're in for. So that would be a fight where we don't know. We
Right.
kind of we. I mean, Usyk Fury was moving towards that, but we don't even want to talk about that. But it was moving towards that. I haven't even seen Tyson Fury on social media, so hopefully he's
Hopefully, he's still in
doing
shape.
wrestling and staying in shape. But that's another story for another day. Fights that are actually being made, we could talk about those.
Yeah. I
And yeah,
I'm with you though. But I don't know, bro. Like better BF. I'm not saying that's an easier fight, but that's just a
Mhm.
slugfest at the end of the day. Like to me,
Mhm.
like who's gonna fold first? I don't see Benavidez folding first. I don't.
Yeah. Better be is a little older now. Um, I think that fight, like you said, is more of a brawler style fight. I mean, that's not even a fight you really need to train for,
Nope.
other than just do some endurance training and weight training.
Right.
So if that was the case, then yeah, like if that's the fight, then we're gonna just get a knockdown, drag out, old school brawl. But if it's Bivol, we're gonna get a little bit more technical of a fight. And last fight they tried to fight technical was Demetrius on him, and but he was smaller. He was just naturally
He was,
smaller, so it
bro.
didn't really work.
Little
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, Caleb playing fight was a little closer, but
You know,
Caleb playing.
you know how I feel about Caleb Plant, man. Like,
Yeah,
if he fixes that gas tank, he's undefeated right now.
I don't know if he beats Canelo gas tank or not, but
You don't think so?
I don't think he would have beat Canelo that day. I don't think the gas tank was the problem. Canelo just kind of got in his groove towards the end, and it was a signature Canelo win. He was on that little streak thing because he beat the British guy before then.
Yeah. Then he had Triple G after that. I'm pretty sure.
Was it the Caleb name? Or no, that was it was a dude with three names.
Fuck. I completely forget. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But he was on that little run, and that's when Canelo was actually
Billy Joe Saunders. I'm sorry.
I know he had three names.
He was
Yeah,
a dog, bro.
He was.
He
He got options, but yeah, he was.
That eye socket was gone, huh?
Yeah, I snatched, but that was that run. That's why I ain't gonna go the steroid route. Canelo definitely has been accused of some things. So
Hey, bro,
not saying
that's a
took the
fact.
right before the fight. He
That's
was really about his business.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
But yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, we could talk about fights that are actually in the pipeline. One in particular being that Tank and Frank Martin